thanks this evening to the brain injury survivor from Hull, who's taking on a gruelling 160-mile running challenge to raise vital funds as he expands the work of the charity that he founded to help others with brain injuries.
Paul Spence suffered a brain hemorrhage after being the victim of an unprovoked attack and lives with brain damage that affects him every day.
His experience of struggling to find support following his injury inspired him to start the P.A.U.L for Brain Recovery Centre. And after nearly a decade of helping people in Hull, he's now expanding the charity's reach to North and North East Lincolnshire.
We'll be hearing from Paul and his running partner and long-term supporter Lee Thompson in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the work the charity is already doing.
Whether it's meeting up for a cuppa and a chat at one of their social sessions, or working out to boost their physical and psychological progress, service users at P.A.U.L for Brain Recovery all agree it's a vital part of the journey following a brain injury. People like Beth, who suffered life-changing injuries when she was hit by a car 10 years ago and has been pushing for this work to be expanded around the region ever since she learnt to walk and talk again.
Back in 2016, I wanted this charity to come over to North Lincolnshire, and finally it's happening. It's finally happening.
The range of services on offer spans health and wellbeing, family support, one-to-one and group education and advocacy support. Beth says without P.A.U.L for Brain Recovery, her life would not have been the same.
It's the best thing that's ever happened. Yeah, it's given me hope. It's given me the positive attitude to have, show that anything's possible and miracles do happen, and that yeah, there's people out there and you can do this, you can do it.
Well, I'm delighted to say that Paul and his friend Lee have joined us in the studio. Thanks so much for coming along. Paul, if I may start with you, you look extremely well sat there, but I know you've been through such a difficult time since your brain injury. Just let us know what happened to you.
So thank you. So 2012 I was attacked without provocation, subsequently suffered a frontal lobe brain hemorrhage which blew my life to pieces on every level you can imagine. I was left facing years of neuro rehabilitation and told I would never be the same person. During recovery I struggled to adjust, I lost everything and ultimately spiralled into depression.
Terrible, isn't it? And Lee, of course, you've known Paul for many, many years, so you saw a big change in him.
Yeah, I did. He's still the same good friend I've always had, but he's a lot different from before his accident. Sometimes when we're together, we're just having a chat and then lose all track of thought. But the improvement I've seen since his accident is massively different from when he first had the accident. He was in hospital in his recovery.
And Paul, you've obviously worked extremely hard on that recovery, but there have been difficult days, difficult months even, and as a result, you decided that there was something that needed to be done to support people when they leave hospital who've had brain injuries, and you set up a charity. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, during my own recovery, and I spent my days lost, confused and vulnerable. I was struggling in my social life, work life, family life, and there were very limited services. There was nowhere to go in the community where people could relate to what I was going through. It didn't help me. I produced a Facebook page to raise awareness of how it is to live with a brain injury. I thought I could be a voice for others. People started messaging me, will you come see my mum, my dad, my gran, my brother, my sister. So I was actively going out in the community. There was a big demand, so I went to see the local NHS. Together we worked in partnership to open the Brain Recovery Centre in 2016, and P.A.U.L for Brain Recovery was founded. P.A.U.L is an acronym for positivity, awareness, understanding and love for brain recovery.
And there's a new challenge coming up. Would you tell us about that, Lee?
So we're attempting a 160-mile challenge, which is the Yorkshire Wolds Way, there and back. So it's 80 miles just shy of each way. We're starting at 7 AM on Friday morning, so it's going to be our biggest challenge to date.
Yeah. And a big build-up for this, but also you're expanding with the charity, aren't you?
Yes, we certainly are. We're expanding into North and North East Lincolnshire in July. We start our service on the 15th in Brigg and Grimsby. This is something the charity's been working on for years. You know, we work with Hull Royal Infirmary, the Major Trauma and Neurosurgery Wards. We've got an honorary contract, so we're seeing patients and families. Hull Royal Infirmary is a major trauma centre, so people are accessing from Lincolnshire, from East Riding and from Hull. We speak to patients once they're discharged. Sadly, some of them are unable to get to us. You know, the barriers can include our social networks, not financially set up to be able to travel towards it. I was too ill to travel, and so we're expanding into local areas in Lincolnshire, so it's easier for people to access, to make sure that nobody's isolated after brain injury.
Well, it's brilliant that you're highlighting this issue, and we wish you both all the luck in the world
So
with this run. Honestly, I hope it goes very, very well for you.
thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Cheers.
It's lovely to meet Paul and Lee. Now then.